Hello and welcome to Business Law 18 for the winter 2021 semester. Happy New Year, happy 2021. I'm recording this on New Year's Day. You'll be listening to it after that, but at any rate, for me, I'm still happy about the new year. Remember, we're in a 6-week abbreviated semester. Now, you must have known that when you took the winter semester. But that means, especially since this is an internet course, we will not be meeting in school. We will not be meeting in class. You have to really teach yourself the material. And so there's a couple things you need to remember. First of all, you'll need to go into the Canvas class, into the home page. And what you'll find there is a page called Introduction to the Course. It also says something like, important to read this, your grade depends on knowing this material. This tells you how to take the class. So it's the first thing you should do. Go to the Introduction to the Course page, I guess after you listen to this video, and go through what it says you need to do. It will tell you that most of this course is being monitored through a Cengage program called MindTap. That means you need to immediately register for MindTap. Yes, you'll have to pay a fee for that. If you bought the book, which is Clarkson Business Law 15th edition, if you bought the book at the bookstore or somewhere where it has a MindTap code with it, then you just need to enter the code. If you did not, you either bought the book somewhere else or you haven't bought the book yet, you can go into the link which I provided in our Canvas class and register for MindTap. If you're happy with an electronic book, the book will be available to you through MindTap, so you won't need to have a hard copy. Also, Cengage, the publishing company, has a program where if you pay a fee, you have access to all Cengage books. But I'm not trying to sell the Cengage material. You can look at that. But if you had several classes that have Cengage books, you can, by paying the one fee, you can get access to all of them, either digitally, or if you want to rent them, they'll send you a rental copy. So you can look at that, but at any rate, you're going to have to get used to MindTap and register for it right away. Since this is a 6-week semester, we're cramming the regular 16-week semester into 6 weeks. And that's all, I think it's 27 chapters that we're going over. We don't go through the whole book, but we go through 27 chapters, which means if you count 7 days a week, you've got to go over a chapter about every day and a half. And that's up to you to get the work done for each chapter every day and a half. This class is broken up into 4 sections. Go to the syllabus and it will show you a calendar and will tell you the dates that each section is done. First section, it only gives you something like 12 days to get it done. And when you're done with that 12 days, then you'll have a quiz at the end of that section. And then you move on to the next section. You will not be able to go back and do the work that was in the first section. So it's very time specific. You have to get the work done during the times when it's available to you. And if you procrastinate, it's the kiss of death for this class. If you even go a few days without getting into the class and making sure you're on top of things, you can be hopelessly behind, or you can miss a deadline, which will be disastrous for your grade. So keep that in mind. Keep an eye on the calendar. Make sure you go in every day and do some work on this class. That's what you asked for when you took a 6-week class for the winter semester. So don't complain to me about it. Who am I? I'm Eric Blade. I'm a lawyer. I teach this class and other paralegal and business-oriented classes at Mount Sac and some other schools around. But you won't be able to see me very much. I will try to post videos maybe once a week to ask you some questions, to give you some discussion things that you can get into and that I want you to respond to. But like I say, you've really got to dedicate yourself to teach yourself this material and to work through the material on your own. So how do you do that? Well, first of all, go through the introduction to the course page, then go through the syllabus page, Then what you need to do after you become familiar with all that, and frankly, you should really print the syllabus page and then tape it up next to your computer somewhere so that you can follow the schedule and make sure you're getting the work done on time and not missing anything. Then I need you to take a test. The first test is called Introduction to the Course. It's 11 questions, I think, which can all be answered based on the material in the How to Succeed in This Course page and the syllabus, which I just told you to go through. All the answers are in there. Now, the grade you get on this doesn't count toward your final grade for the end of this class. I'll go over what it takes to get your grade in just a minute. But it's important to make sure that you get that first introduction to the course quiz done within the first week. And I think that's by the 11th of January. Because if you don't, I have to drop you from the course. If you haven't done that first introduction to the course quiz by a week from the day the course starts, I think we start on the 4th, and then that gives you till the 11th. Anyone who has not submitted it by that date, I will drop you from the course. So make sure you're aware of that. Now, if you haven't done anything else by the 11th after a week, and you've just barely done that, you're hopelessly behind. So don't let that happen to you. If you're listening to this video and you're a week into the course, you're way behind and you've got to do some major catch-up work before the end of this first section period. So become familiar with that syllabus, make sure you're following it, and work on this course every day. That's the most important thing I can tell you. Now let's talk just a little bit about what it takes to get a grade in this class. There's four things that activities that count toward grade points for this class. First of all are the chapter assignments. Every chapter has 4 to 6 written assignments. Some of them are called work pages, some of them are called chapter review, some of them are called hypotheticals, some of them are called in the news. But you will answer those questions for those work pages, those chapter worksheets, and submit them through MindTap. You'll submit them to me and you'll get your grade from there. Now, those chapter assignments count for 50% of your grade for this course. Because I don't see you on a regular basis like we do in a normal course, the chapter assignments count for a large percentage of your grade. Now, at the end of every section, we have 4 sections in this class. We cover 4 sections worth of work. You'll have a section quiz. It will be 50 questions and we'll cover whatever chapters we went through in that first section. The first section covers 5 chapters, chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 out of your book. So you'll do those worksheets and the chapter work on those. And then at the end of the section, the last 2 days of the section, I think it's the 12th and the 13th. I may be wrong. Look at the syllabus to make sure you're right. You have 2 days to take the section quiz. Section quiz is 50 questions, multiple choice and true and false, based on the material that's inside that first section. Once the section is done, then the next section opens up and you cannot go back to the work if you didn't get it all done in the first section. You've got to just move forward and move forward. Now those section quizzes count for 30% of your grade. So 50% on the chapter assignments, 30% on those section quizzes. Of the 4 section quizzes you take, I will drop 1 score. So I will average the top 3 scores in order to come up with your final grade at the end of this semester. So if you miss one, or if you just bomb it and don't do well, you've got 3 more to make up and do better on those. So 4 section quizzes, of which I drop the lowest score and average the top 3, counts for 30% of your grade. Then we have participation and attendance. I do keep attendance, even though you don't come into class, which means I check to see how much time you're spending and how regularly you're logging into this course. If you're only coming in once a week or so, you're not going to do well on that. And of course, if you miss a deadline, it's going to be really difficult for you to catch up. But also, I will have discussion groups, probably once a week, where I'll give you an opportunity to go into the discussion page. If you look on your homepage on the left-hand side, there's a link that says discussion groups. Look at the discussion groups and respond to the discussion groups. And then go back and look again and respond to what other people put in the discussion groups. Usually I'll give you a hypothetical or a question that involves some of the material in that particular section. And I want to see what you have to say about that. There's no right and wrong in what you say, but when you put something in discussion group, it will help you earn participation points. That counts for 10% of your grade. And then the last 10% of your grade is the final exam. The last 2 days of this semester, which I think is the 13th and 14th of February, we have a final exam, which will cover all the chapters that we have covered in this textbook. It's not all the chapters in the textbook, because some of them we don't get to, but all the ones that we cover will be fair game to be on the final exam. It will be 100 questions, and it will be multiple choice and true and false, a lot like the ones that are in the chapter quizzes. So 4 things to get the grade: 50% for the chapter assignments, 30% for the section quizzes, 10% for participation and attendance, including those discussion questions or group discussions, and then 10% for the final exam. That's what you need to do. A couple other things you need to be aware of. Something you should do right away is go into the discussion groups. You'll see 2 things there. One of them says introduce yourself. Take a minute, tell me who you are. You'll see my little bio in there. It's just a paragraph long. I want you to give me something like that. Who are you? Why are you taking this class? Why are you interested in business law, or are you just taking it because it's a requirement for business or something else? Let me know. Tell me something about your experience. Remember though, anything you put in there is public, which means anyone in the class can read it. So don't put any private information in there, no social security numbers, no private addresses or phone numbers or anything like that. But go ahead and put that in there. It counts toward your participation points too, if you go in there and you give me your little bio, a short bio on who you are. The second thing you'll see in there is a discussion group called Ask Any Question Here. If at any time during the semester you get stuck or you have a problem or something's not working for you, go into there and post it and said, I'm having trouble doing this, or I don't understand that. I will be checking that regularly, and I'll be responding to anyone who puts something in there. Also, other class members, remember it's public, may also see it and say, oh yeah, I had that same problem, but I resolved it. So feel free to put any comments that you have into the Ask Any Question Here section of the discussion group. Let's see, what else do I want you to know? Get to work right away, register right away. Don't waste any time on doing that, and start working on these assignments, start cranking them through. Remember, in a day and a half, you should be done with chapter 1, and then a day and a half done with chapter 2, and so on until you get through the end of the first section, and then submit that to me. I will calculate your grades based on those percentages that I just gave you. Also, since this is an internet class, hey, mistakes can happen. Computers can be finicky, internets can go down, there can be all sorts of problems. Let me know about that. If you have to contact me, how to contact me methods are in the syllabus. I prefer email. I mean, first try the Ask Any Question Here, but otherwise send me an email. I'll respond to any email. If you have to, I've given you a phone number. I would like to see you try to contact me through those other methods before you try the phone number. But I understand this is a short class, so if you have to call me, I've given you a personal phone number to reach me at. Last semester, I had some guy calling me up at like 3 in the morning. Try not to do that, okay? Although this is a 24/7 class, I can just tell you, any information I give you at 3 in the morning probably won't be very good. And, you know, if I have any subjectivity and it comes down to giving a grade, I'll probably be grumpy if you abuse that privilege. But those are the ways to reach me. What else do you need to know? Be patient. Technology fails and tends to fail at the worst possible time. So when it does, just be patient and work your way through it. Good luck with this. I think there's a lot of interesting material that you'll find. I happen to believe that business law is one of those classes that can help you through life. Now, I know you're here for a grade, not just for life, but you know, if you're ever going to get married or ever going to get divorced, we talk about things you need. If you're ever going to sign a contract, a house, buy a car, even a cell phone or a smartphone, we're going to talk about principles that will help you understand what you're getting into. If you're ever going to die, we're going to talk about principles that have to do with that. If you're ever going to invent something and want to protect it. If you ever get sued or need to sue somebody else, we'll talk about those principles. If you ever get arrested, we'll talk about things like that. If at work they're not treating you fairly or discriminating against you, we'll talk about those type of issues. If you're ever going to start a business, we'll talk about how to do that. These are basic business principles listen, in this life, it's very complicated. And if you don't know that yet, you'll find out soon. So my theory is that if you have at least a basic understanding of the legal principles behind these things that happen in life, you'll have a advantage against other people who you deal with who don't understand these things. So I hope it'll be interesting. I hope you get good grades. Good luck to you all. You selected this abbreviated semester, so get to work and hang on tight. Good luck.